I'd like to work on restraining of pen and tongue. So pray for me, please, everyone.
Absolutely.
Or not.
Okay, if there's nothing that anybody wants to work on specifically, then we'll go ahead and get started. We're gonna do a yin class today. So we're actually gonna start in Savasana this morning. So lying on our backs. Feeling the earth underneath of us. Feeling where your body has contact with the earth. Check in with your breath. Maybe notice how the events of this morning or the feelings of this morning have affected your breath. Just allowing yourself to be. Yin is about coming into stillness, stillness of the mind, stillness of the body. Allowing yourself to slow down. We live in such a busy world and we have schedules that we follow. We're always looking to do the next thing. But instead of having that mindset this morning, try to get into the mindset of just being. Being in each posture as we go through the sequence today. Not worrying too much about where we'll go next. Just focusing where we are in this moment. Feel the connection and the support of the earth underneath of you. And use that today. Use that support. We'll begin by bringing the right leg, the right knee into the chest. Interlocking your fingers around the knee. And don't pull. Don't really apply any pressure. Just allow the weight of your arms to bring your knee in closer to your chest. Relaxing the shoulders. It's easy in this posture to kind of pull your shoulders in and close your heart, but remember to keep that space between your ears and your shoulders. trying to keep contact with your shoulders on the ground. We'll stay here for a couple more breaths. And when you're ready, we'll grab hold of the outside of the foot and we'll go into a half happy baby. If it's more comfortable for you, you can bend your left leg and put your foot on the floor if that's more comfortable. Just allowing yourself to meet yourself where you're at this morning. And again, checking in with those shoulders. It's going to be a little more difficult to keep that contact with the earth during this posture, but just be mindful of where your shoulders are this morning. Opening up into the hips. Opening up into the emotions. Continuing to breathe. And we'll bring the left ankle on top of the right ankle, on top of the left leg. And still keeping contact with that knee with your right hand. Just kind of pressing into that knee a little bit. And then releasing after a breath or so. And pressing that knee forward again. And release. And kind of do that at your own pace. A few more times. Seeing if you can go a little bit deeper each time that you do it. And notice the sensation in the hip. And if you're feeling any sort of sharp pain or anything like that, then you don't want to continue trying to go deeper in that posture. Continuing to press and release against that leg, opening up the right side of the hip. Good, and if your left leg is bent, straighten it out and bring that right knee towards the chest again. Just a little bit of a squeeze there with the weight of your arms. And then we're going to gently guide your right leg over to the left side of the body, straightening out the right arm. And if it's comfortable for you to look over your shoulder, do so. But if, like I said, if you feel any sort of pain or anything, you'll want to back out of that. You can also place a block underneath of your right knee Or you can have that foot on the ground, whatever's comfortable for you. And finding some stillness here. Noticing how your body relaxes when you exhale. Notice those subtle movements of deepening into your mat. We'll guide the right leg back to center, pulling it in towards the chest. One more time. And then straightening out the legs. See if you notice a difference in your hips. Maybe noticing the energy, the shift of energy in your right leg versus your left. We'll guide the left leg up to the chest, interlacing our fingers around the knee. Again, no pulling, just allowing the weight of the arms to bring it closer. Check in with your breath, check in with your shoulders, check in with your jaw, releasing any unnecessary tension. Maybe noticing how your right leg feels differently than your left when your left leg was out straight. Allowing your breath to guide you into stillness, into quiet. If you find your mind thinking about other things, just gently bring it back to the breath without any judgment. Now we'll grab hold of the outside of the left leg. And again, if you're more comfortable bending that right knee, please do so. I know that's a little more comfortable for me. My hips are pretty tight today. And if you're able to, allowing that elbow, that left elbow, to kind of gently guide that left knee out a little bit. Again, not pulling, just using the weight of your arm on your foot. Checking in with your breath. Checking to see if you have any tension in the body. And most of the time, just noticing that tension will automatically, our bodies will automatically try to release that tension. It's nothing we really have to do. Nothing we really have to do for it. Just noticing it, we will start to relax. You can place your right hand on your belly, feeling your breath. Guiding the right or the left foot over to the right leg, placing the ankle right below the knee. Giving yourself a little bit of a break there. And gently guiding that knee forward. Stretching out the inside of the leg. And just moving to that edge. You guide your knee forward. Don't want to go too far there. If you start feeling any pain in the knee, just back off. Bringing that left knee in towards the chest, right leg out long, and we'll guide the left knee over to the right side of the body. Again, do what feels comfortable here. You can add a block underneath of your knee or bolster. There's no right or wrong way to do it, just whatever you're comfortable with, whatever helps you and your body this morning. Just notice where you feel the stretch the most. Maybe a little bit different for everyone. Wherever you are in this pose, try to focus on opening up your heart. Giving ourselves permission to receive love and to give love. Maybe thanking yourself for doing a practice this morning, practicing self-love. Just opening up your chest and just notice how that makes you feel. Gently guiding that left foot back to center, pulling it in towards the chest just one more time. And let it all go down to the mat. Kind of shaking it off a little bit. Next, we're going to take our hands up above our head, stretching out our body. Just find a nice stretch there. We're going to take our feet over to the left corner of our mat, and then we'll take our hands still above our heads over to the left corner of the top of our mat, making a C shape with our bodies. And adjust in any way that you need to here to where you're able to rest in that stillness comfortably. You want to be comfortable, find what feels good for your body. Finding a position that's comfortable for your neck. Really getting into the side body and the kidney area here. Getting into our water element. And even though our hands are up above our heads, still kind of be mindful of keeping that space between your shoulders and your ears. And when you're ready, coming back to center. And then we'll move to the other side. Again, adjust yourself in any way that you need. Find a comfortable position here. And you may feel the stretch in a different area on the left side of your body. Just be mindful of where you feel the energy the most. Checking in with the shoulders, checking in with the jaw. And coming back to center. We're going to make our way to a seated position. So if you want to roll to one side, or however you feel it's most comfortable for you to come up into. Do so slowly and mindfully. And when you're ready, you'll want to grab a block. We're going to start with the left foot out. And you can have your block at any height here. And you may want to adjust like once we get into the posture. So whatever's comfortable for you. So we're going to keep our back straight, chest out, chin up. We're going to interlace our fingers behind our head. And I may have mine like this to start off. And we're just going to sink into the left side here, putting our elbow on our block, lifting up through the sternum. If you want to use 2 blocks or if you want to use a bolster, whatever is comfortable for you. And just kind of notice where you feel this, and if you need to separate your hands a little bit, if you're feeling any tension or sharp pains in your shoulder or anything like that. Just kind of find what feels comfortable. This is a great heart opener. Getting into our 4th chakra there. Try to release any tension in the shoulders. Notice where you feel the stretch. You're going to feel it in several parts of the body here. But notice where you feel that stretch and try to breathe into it. Inviting oxygen into that area. Maybe you can remove your block and bring that left arm down to the floor, bringing that right hand over top. Really getting a nice stretch into that right side body and that right shoulder. You can still use your block if that's comfortable for you. Or even placing your bolster up against the inside of your left leg can be comfortable for people also. Checking in with your breath. We'll come up to center. We're going to repeat that same thing on the other side. So if you need to, usually after that I kind of need to put my legs out and shake my hips out a little bit before I go to the other side. So again, straightening out the back, chin up, and bringing your hands behind your head and sinking over, putting the elbow on that block. Opening up the chest. If you need to put a blocker or a bolster underneath of your left knee, do so. You can remove that block. If you just want to make it a little bit lower, bringing the right hand inside of the leg and bringing that left hand up overhead. And see if you can shift your sternum up towards the ceiling just a little bit. Just little movements there. You'll notice that those little movements can make a big difference and give you a little bit of a deeper stretch. Inhaling back to center. Good. And we'll bring both legs out into a V shape. And I'm like, Jeff, I have to put a bolster in my lap. This is not my favorite. But also trying to, what helps for me is trying to like tilt my pelvis forward. That's a little bit more comfortable for me. Sometimes in this position, I'll even put like a small pillow or a blanket underneath of me, and that seems to help. But a straight back again, like we did before. And you're just gonna come forward until you can find your edge. And once you find that edge, allowing your back to bend and bringing the forehead down, but leading with the chest, leading with the chin until you can find your edge, and then allowing yourself to sink into the posture. This can be a very surrendering posture for me. Surrendering to my body and surrendering to my mind, kind of bowing down to my higher power. And also opening up my hips, opening up my feelings and my emotions. It can be a very vulnerable posture. And a lot of times when we feel vulnerable, we can tap into our root chakra and remember that support and that safety that we have within, that's always there for us to tap into. You can think of it as a time to think about the people in our lives who support us and who love us. Our support system in recovery. Allowing your exhale to let you go just a touch deeper. Let the breath be your guide. We'll do about 30 more seconds here. And on your next inhale, slowly rise. And we're going to go into reclined hero pose. So coming onto the knees. Put a bolster behind us, and it may be more comfortable, like if you want to have your feet straight out in front of you, that's fine too. You can use a bolster or block, whatever is more comfortable. We'll bring our knees, if you can, about mat width apart. And we'll use our arms to support us here as we slowly roll back onto our bolster or our block. And again, if your legs are out in front of you, that's fine. You'll still feel this stretch for yourself, and you'll be able to feel it exactly where you need it today. It's also a very surrendering posture, really opening up the heart, opening up the throat. Notice where you feel the stretch in the legs and the shoulders. A great counter pose for the forward folds that we were doing and the twists. Using the support of your bolster or your block, really trust that support. Sink into it, allowing your body to just melt. Maybe inviting yourself to do a 3-part yogic breath here. Inhaling into the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And then letting it all go on one smooth exhale. Just noticing what that does for your body. We'll take 2 more big breaths here. On the next inhale, we'll come up, using your arm strength, slow, mindful movements. You can bring your bolster out in front of you. For just a moment here, we'll go into tabletop. We'll start with the right foot whenever you're ready. We'll bring that right foot back, straight out behind you. And then we'll bring that knee up towards our bolster and we'll go into pigeon. And take a moment to just check where your back foot is. It should be right in alignment with your hip. You can place your forearms on the floor or on a bolster, whatever is more comfortable for you. Just allowing yourself to sink into this posture. Checking to make sure that your hips are aligned. Continuing to breathe. You're also welcome to put a blanket underneath of your knee if that helps you. Checking in with your shoulders, checking in with your jaw. And whether you have connection with the third eye, with the front of the body or the back of the body, really check into that inner wisdom. What feels good for you in this posture? Checking in with that energy. Of our higher self and our higher knowledge. And how can you bring that into this posture today? How do you feel like you know your body today? Again, finding that stillness. Focusing in on your breath. If your mind starts to wander, just gently bring it back to this moment. When you're ready, using your arm strength, bring yourself back up. And before we bring that right leg back, we'll stretch out the front of the body. bringing our chest and chin towards the sky. Doing a bit of a counter pose. And we can bring that right leg back. And I like to go into a down dog here, just to stretch out the back of that leg. And even bring the right leg up, or bending one knee at a time, kind of massaging the bottom of the feet, whatever's comfortable for you here. And then we'll bring the left knee up. And go into the pigeon on the left side. Again, checking in with that back leg, making sure that it's straight and in alignment with the hip. And slowly bringing yourself down to either the floor, or your forearms, or your block, or your bolster. How does it feel different on this side? Do you feel like you're fully able to surrender into this posture today? How can you choose to surrender in your recovery? How can you choose to surrender to your breath for the rest of your day? How can you utilize that breath to bring stillness to your mind, stillness to your body, to help yourself slow down? Can you maybe try walking a little slower today, just to notice the things around you? Maybe help yourself get out of the doer mentality and into just being. Using our arm strength again. Slowly bringing yourself up. Pushing away against the earth. Bringing your chest and your chin forward. We can sink back into downward facing dog, just to stretch out the back of the legs. When you're ready, bringing the knees to the ground. And we'll sink back into child's pose. Again, allowing yourself to melt into the mat, becoming one with the earth. One thing I like to do in this posture is to put my hands together in prayer and put it right at the base of my skull on the back of my neck. Not only does it give me more of a shoulder stretch, but it's a symbol of surrender for me. When my body is in a position of prayer and surrender, it makes it a lot easier for my mind to follow. Maybe take this time to set an intention for yourself for today, expressing gratitude for yourself, gratitude for others. Gratitude for your willingness to do this practice today. Gratitude for a new sense of being. And when you're ready, pressing your hands against the earth, we'll come into a seated position. We can inhale our hands up overhead. Slowly bringing our hands into prayer position, and bringing them to our heart space. And again, on your inhale, bringing them up overhead. Inviting yourself to receive the love and the light, and bringing it to your heart space. I'll do it one more time at your own pace. We'll open our eyes and say namaste to one another. And we'll start meditation in a couple minutes. If you're able to stay for meditation, that would be great. Started on our meditation today. Coming into a seated position, if you want a pillow underneath of you, if you want a blanket, if you want a blanket over top of you, whatever you are comfortable with. I know everybody's different in how they want to do things, and we'll just come to a seated position. We'll close our eyes. Having our palms up and open in order to receive the energy that is being given to us. And we're going to do a body scan. I'm going to bring our awareness to our toes. Noticing any sensation that you feel. Do you feel warmth? Are they cold? Where are they touching on your body? Do you feel them on your leg? Do you feel them on the earth? Do you feel your clothes up against your skin? No judgment, not trying to change anything, just simply feeling. Working our way up the foot. What else do you notice? Just bringing our attention there. Appreciating our feet for helping us get where we need to go. I know it's not something that I think about a lot, but how I'm grateful that they're able to take me where I want to go. Bringing your attention to the ankle. Is it making a connection to the earth as well? Bringing our attention to our calf and our shin. Slowly moving the energy up to the knee. Almost like we're filling our body like a cup with positive energy. Just moving up our body very slowly. What do you notice in the knees? Is there a coolness? Maybe they feel a little uncomfortable. But just noticing without judgment. Continuing to fill our bodies, moving the energy up into the thighs, into the hamstrings. Shifting our awareness to the hips. Noticing the energy that's going on there. We store a lot of emotions in our hips. Do you notice when you bring that awareness to your hips? Any shift in thinking or feeling? Again, no judgment. Just allowing yourself to be. Just feel what is. Continuing to fill our bodies with positive energy, we bring our awareness to the base of our spine, where your root chakra lies. Do you feel the connection with the earth? How much of it do you feel? Maybe if you've been feeling too much grounding energy, maybe you felt very depressed. Or maybe if you haven't felt enough of that grounding energy, maybe you felt very spacey or anxious. Keeping a healthy connection to the earth allows us to have healthy reactions to the things that are going on around us. Allows us to stay centered. Bringing our energy up to the pelvis area. Again, this is where a lot of feelings are held. When we're able to balance our second chakra, we're able to regulate our feelings. We're able to tap into creativity. And just feeling that area of the body. Bringing our attention to the navel area. Feeling our breath. Feeling a rise and fall of the belly. Feeling the connection of our skin to our clothing. Just that very subtle movement that we can feel. maybe focusing on the fire element of the third chakra. Do you feel like you've had motivation lately? How is your self-esteem? Not only feeling the physical body of that area, but feeling the energetic body. We'll move the energy to the heart space, into the fourth chakra. Do you feel any difference in the heart space from the beginning of today's practice until now? Do you feel like you're able to love yourself today? How can you show love for yourself today? How can you show love for others? Bringing our attention further up into our body, up into our shoulders and our arms. What do you feel here? Do you feel a heaviness or a lightness in your shoulders? What do you feel in your arms, your elbows, and your hands? Bringing your attention back to the throat chakra. Do you feel like you've been able to communicate your truth lately? How has your communication been with others? Do we feel that our energy in our throat is able to flow freely? Or do we feel like we have a lump in our throat? Moving our attention to our face and our jaw. Releasing any tension that you feel. Can you feel the air on your skin? Moving the attention to the third eye. What has your communication been with your higher self? How does that space feel on your forehead and on the back of your head? Just bringing your awareness there. Bringing your awareness to the top of the head, to the crown. Just noticing what you feel. Feeling a oneness with all beings. Feeling a connection with the infinite. Finding a level of acceptance for yourself and others, as we are all one. And simply allowing yourself to sit in stillness and quiet. Bringing some movement back into the fingers and toes. Maybe slight movements through the torso as well. Just very, very soft movements. Opening your eyes to a very soft gaze. Starting to take in the light and what you see around you. Taking a moment to just be with your eyes open. And again, we'll bring our hands into prayer. And we'll say namaste to one another again.